morning students, welcome back to SST class of 7th. Children, in our previous video we had completed the exercise discussion and question answers of the chapter number 6 of civics, that is the role of media in democracy, and I hope that everybody have done the question answers in your notebook and have understood the chapter well. Okay children, now we will proceed to the next chapter of our term 2 examination, that is chapter number 7 of history, and name of the chapter is tribal communities and their development. So here we are going to study about the tribal communities. What do you mean by the word tribal? Tribal Hindi में यानी कि आदिवासी. So these are a ethnic group which are smaller than a social group. Okay, तो ये एक ethnic group होता है, एक particular area में पाया जाता है, and they are not very social with people. Okay, so these are tribal communities. There are a lot of tribal communities, जैसे हमने पढ़ा है पिग्मीज होते हैं, बंजारास होते हैं. So these are tribal communities, right? So in this chapter we are going to study about the various tribal communities found in India and their development, right? Okay, so let's get started. Children, please open page number 72. Very important political, social and economic developments took place over the centuries. So before centuries, lots of economic, political and social developments took place, right? But social changes were not the same everywhere. But some of the changes like social changes was not same everywhere, okay? Because different kinds of societies evolved differently, and the reason was that because in different areas different societies were there, so that's why the social development was not very rapid. Okay, there were two types of societies in India during the medieval period: the caste based society and the tribal based society. So we can see the society was divided during the medieval period into two types: the caste based society and the tribal based society. So what is caste? Caste is a type of social group. Okay, it's a type of social group, and tribal is group of ethnic people. Okay, so it's smaller than a social group. Okay, so during early time or during the medieval time, the society was divided into caste based society and the tribal based society, right? The caste based society was one of in which the people were divided according to their birth, and the caste based society was divided according to the birth. Suppose if a person is born in a Brahmin family, he is Brahmin. If he is born in Shudra family, he is Shudra, right? Then there was a huge gap between the high and the low caste group, and we have studied in previous chapters also that there were four caste system: Kshatriya, Brahmin, Vaishya and Shudra. Okay, and there were lot of gap between the higher caste and the lower caste. Okay, the tribal society does not have these divisions. लेकिन जो tribal society थी उनमें ऐसा कोई divisions नहीं था. They did not follow caste rules laid down by the Brahmins. Equality was their unique features. So they did not follow any caste system जो कि Brahmins ने start किया था. The main feature of the system was equality. In the tribal based society, everybody was equal. Nobody was high or nobody was low. Okay. Now the question comes, who were tribal people? Who were tribal people? Yes, tribals were found in almost every region of subcontinent. Okay, but not much is known about them. Tribals are found everywhere in our Indian subcontinent, but we know very little about them. Okay, this is because a few sources that could give relevant information to the historians, and the reason is that because very few sources, informative sources, written or literary sources are there that tell about the tribal people to the historians. The reason behind is that very few tribes kept written records, and the reason is that very few tribal people kept their written records. Okay, But the tribals preserved their tradition, custom and oral tradition. But the tribal people always followed their social custom, what they used to follow, and it was passed from one generation to the other. Okay, tribal histories are being written using the information. Each tribe has its own custom, traditions and lifestyle. So there are a lot of tribes found in Indian subcontinent. Every tribe has their own custom, their own lifestyle and their own tradition. Some were small tribes, others were large and powerful. Okay, the tribals generally resided in areas that were remote and were also considered difficult to terrains. तो tribal ऐसे areas में रहते थे that was remote, that was outskirts of the city, means in rural areas that was not connected to anyhow to the city. Hence they remarked isolated and cut off from the outside world. That's why they were isolated from the world, cut off, एकदम जो दुनिया थी उससे वो बिल्कुल अलग थे. Okay, due to this they were able to preserve their traditions and culture, and that is why they were not involved in the other things. They used to preserve their tradition and culture. Okay, now tribal societies. Okay, now the tribal societies consisted of members united by kinship bonds. So जो tribal societies के member थे वो kinship bond से जुड़े हुए थे. What is kinship? Kinship is related with a feeling of being close to each other or belonging to a particular region. Suppose आप लोग ने देखा होगा कि कोई सिटी में जाता है तो वो मुंबई में वर्क करने जाता है, मान लो सपोज अपने प्रयागराज से गया. ओके, वहां पे उसे कोई प्रयागराज का मिल जाता है तो बहुत फ्रेंडली अपनापन जैसा लगता है. So that feeling is called as kinship feeling, means people belonging to a particular region. Okay, different tribes followed different types of occupation, और अलग अलग ट्राइब के अलग अलग occupations थे. Okay, some obtained their livelihood from agriculture, some were nomads. Nomads means people who move from one place to another in search of food and shelter, right? Then and others were hunter gatherers or hunters. तो कुछ nomads थे, कुछ hunter gatherers थे और कुछ agriculture पे depend थे. Some tribes earned a living by performing acrobatic stunts and entertaining people, and few others were craftsmen who sold their craft work to earn their livelihood. Apart from that, some tribal, आपने tribal people को देखा होगा cities में कि वो acrobatic stunt दिखाते हैं, रस्सी पे चलना और फिर फायर में कूदना. सो अपने एक्रोबैटिक स्टंट करके और गाना गा के एंटरटेन करके अपने आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट से वो लोगों को एंटरटेन करते थे और अपना लाइवलीहुड अर्न करते थे. ओके, लैंड एंड पैस्चर्स वेर ओन्ड जॉइंटली बाय ट्राइब एंड इट वाज डिवाइडेड अकॉर्डिंग अमंग द फैमिलीज. और जो लैंड होता था और जो पैस्चर्स मीन्स जो चरने वाली जगह होती थी जहाँ कैटल्स चरते थे, वो सब जॉइंटली डिवाइड होता था अमंग द फैमिलीज मिलके. ठीक है, द ट्राइबल्स ऑफन चोज टू लिव इन एरियाज लाइक हाई माउंटेन्स, फॉरेस्ट एंड डेजर्ट, एंड दे लिव्ड means they like to reside in the areas like forest, desert and high mountains, so anybody can't reach there. Though the tribes retained their independence and preserved their culture and traditions, they often clashed with caste-based societies. So sometimes what happened, there was clash, झगड़ा हो जाता था between tribal-based society and the caste-based society. Okay, now the next topic is children, the tribal population in India. Okay, what was the tribal population in India? The tribal population in India is scattered all over the country. So we can say tribal people are found in every part of India. Traditionally, most of the tribes in India have led a nomadic life with no permanent house. तो traditionally अगर हम देखेंगे तो जो ट्राइबल पीपल होते हैं, दे आर नोमैडिक, दे मूव फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अनदर इन सर्च ऑफ फूड एंड शेल्टर, and they have no permanent dwelling or houses. Some of the tribes in India were Baluchis in the northwest, then Khokars and the Ghakkars in Punjab, the Bhils and the Kolis in the western parts, Gonds in central India, and the Khasis, the Nagas and the Ahoms in the east, and the Marwars, the Bagadas and the Todas towards the south. So these are the name of some tribes like Ahom, Bhil, then Baluchis, Kokhars and Ghakkars. These are found in almost every part of India. Okay, the medieval period was challenging for the life of the tribal. So during the medieval period, the life of the tribal people were very challenging. The migration of other people, including Europeans, into the tribal region was the major challenge. Okay. Another reason was that due to the rapid expansion of agriculture and cutting down of forests, the tribal areas had diminished. And what was the main reason for the scarcity of the tribal people? Yes, the forest was being cleared. That's why the tribal society was also disappearing. Okay, forests were the original homes and most of the tribes lived there. Okay, thus in many places the tribals had been seen uprooted from their original villages and forced into exposure to a new culture. So with the cutting down of forest, clearing the agricultural land, all this led to the extinction of the tribal people. The exposure led to some changes in their lives and agriculture, and when they moved from forest to the open area, their livelihood, their culture, traditions become changed. In some places, these tribals opted certain aspects of these culture to lead a settled life by adopting modern methods of agriculture and hunting, and by shifting from forest to the well-densed area, they started modern techniques of agriculture, farming, hunting, then cattle rearing, etc. Okay. In some cases, a tribe evolved into a full-fledged state or kingdom, or we can say that the areas having a lot of tribal people is developed into a state or a kingdom, right? So children, that's all for today. What we have discussed in today's class, that is what is caste, what is tribe, then where the tribal people were found, what was the unique feature of tribal people, then the tribes found in India, etc. Okay, so today's homework is question. First, name the two types of societies during the medieval period. Okay, then second, differentiate between a caste and a tribe. Third one is name some tribes found in India. Question number 4, give the reasons for diminishing the tribal areas. Okay, and question number 5 is what was the main feature of the tribal society. So children, go through the topics which I have taught today, read it and then try to write down these answers. Okay, in our next class we will study about the different tribal societies in detail one by one. Okay, that's all for today. Take care of yourself, students. Thank you.